Anyway, let's talk to Philip Ingram, MBE, former senior military intelligence officer, because there was a protest in London last night on behalf of the Lebanese, because apparently they're all trying to now join forces. Is it Gaza? Is it Lebanon? Is it Israel? You know, it's all going on. Also, let's have a quick word with Keir Starmer, who was talking about hostages in the United Nations. And you remember, he's got a problem with the word hostages. He keeps saying sausages instead. Let's see what he did.
There is no military solution here, nor is there a military-only solution to the conflict in Gaza. This council must demand, again, an immediate, full and complete ceasefire in Gaza with the release of all the hostages.
He was very, very concentrating there, wasn't he? Philip's here. Philip, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike.
I was quite pleased last night when I saw that the weather was so inclement that maybe some of these Lebanese protesters might not actually cause too much trouble because even the keffiyeh doesn't protect them from the rain, I'm afraid. But they did manage to turn out in some numbers. It's all becoming a little bit kind of, I would say, sort of protracted now, isn't it? Because you've now got the Lebanese people and Hezbollah saying, you know, we can't have a ceasefire with Israel unless they have a ceasefire in Gaza. I mean, you can see very clearly that the Iranians are just pulling the strings, aren't they?
Oh, God, hugely. The Iranians are behind all of this. And this is where a large number of the protesters, because they're UK-based, they don't understand the politics of what's going on in southern Lebanon. They don't understand that Hezbollah is the largest people-trafficking criminal gang in the Middle East,
yes.
Trafficking children for prostitution, the biggest drugs supply gang, the biggest money laundering gang, and whilst they have one or two of their political wing in the government in Lebanon, their military forces, which are huge, are not part of the Lebanese military forces. Right. It's not Lebanon, it's Hezbollah.
Right, exactly right. In the same way that Hamas is not, Palestine. You know, people used to say to me, well, you know, the resistance is because of all the occupation that's happened over the years. Well, no, it's not actually, because there is no occupation in Gaza. There hasn't been for many, many years. Yeah. You know, these are scumbags, horrible organisations who kill, who rape and who mutilate people in a way which is thoroughly disgraceful. And yet the left of the West seems to think that these are people who should be kind of lauded.
Well, you know, Hamas is interesting. You know, the last conflict they had before this one was with the Palestinian Authority. Right. Palestinians against Palestinian. The Palestinian Authority were effectively pushed out in an election inside Gaza. They won the West Bank. But it's the Palestinian Authority that provides the Palestinian representative of the United Nations, the Palestinian ambassador into all of the different countries around the world, not Hamas. So Hamas and Palestinian Authority had a civil war. So this is, again, where people just don't understand the politics, but they're going out and waving their little flags, and in reality, they're supporting terror.
Exactly right. And, I mean, unfortunately, the people of Gaza and the people of Lebanon have become enslaved, if you like, by these horrible, horrific terrorist organisations, haven't they?
They have. You know, Lebanon's interesting. You know, in 2006, United Nations Security Council 1701, which ended the Israeli-Lebanon war, called for a buffer zone of about 19 miles in the southern part of Lebanon, where the only military troops that were in there are UN troops. The UN troops are there at the moment, but also called for the disbandment of Hezbollah. This is a Security Council resolution. It hasn't been implemented. And Hezbollah have continued their actions in there to destabilise the Lebanese government, to infiltrate their way through, to support Hamas and other terror organisations around the world, and to continue to rocket Israel. And since the 8th of October last year, they've rocketed Israel every day, displacing 60,000 and killing tens of people, including children.
Yeah, unbelievable stuff. Philip, we've got to run. Thanks very much indeed for your time. Philip Ingram, MBE, former senior military intelligence officer. Guess who doesn't call Hezbollah a military terrorist organisation? It's the same people that don't call Hamas a terrorist organisation. You know who it is? It's the BBC.